But also, philosophically, none of that matters. It doesn't matter that this is all scripted. It doesn't matter that every single decision you make is predestined.
Let us take this down to the dollar store and we can rumble there. I got 100 bones since this baseball bat is cracking your skull open.
Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Yay, thumbs up, it's actually cool enough. I'm wearing this shirt. How long will I wear this shirt? I don't know. It's like 50 or 60 something outside, but with the door shut, the fan off, the lights on, and me moving around, and thus creating heat that's radiating through the room, well, I'll probably be taking the shirt off before too long. Yay! Yesterday I spent a fair amount of time playing the game Ghosts of Tsushima. Before I had cleaned out my PS4 of the dust and the air intake fans, even with videos playing the game, I could hear the fan ramp up like an engine turbine. Now, silent. Cleaning out those air vents was a wonderful, wonderful thing. Definitely cool. And of course, front-loading of videos. Hey, if you like what you hear and see, if you could toss me a like, that'd be cool. And if you like what you hear and see and haven't subscribed, if you could do so, that would be awesome. And hey, if you could leave me a comment, that would be double plus good. And of course, I'd like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These literally beautiful and literally awesome people are literally beautiful and literally awesome. Without their help, I would likely have been homeless by now. So thank you, each and every one of you. It's that close. Oy vey. My pets thank you. I thank you. It is a very good thing and greatly appreciated. If you'd like to help me out and keep me surviving by being a patron, there are links in the video description. If you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, there are links to a PayPal. And of course, if you'd like to help me out without sending money, there's an Amazon wishlist link. Thumbs up for that. So yay! Very cool. I actually did some sleeping last night. That was good. And my legs didn't, well, my right leg especially, the only one that does it, in my upper thigh, that muscle didn't cramp up getting dressed this morning. Thumbs up for that. My calves and feet will occasionally still cramp, but that's far less frequent than it used to be. Yay for that as well. But yeah, there's one thing about playing Ghosts of Tsushima that is both funny and silly, because something fun and funny happened yesterday while playing it that I laughed while I was doing it because it was so silly. As realistic looking as games can be, you still have to remember that all media is metaphor. Take a look at the older games and how awful the graphics looked then. It was a metaphor for how the characters really looked, because that was not an in real life actual representation of what someone looks like, that horrible polygon thing that's being software rendered. No, it's a metaphor for what they couldn't actually show. So when I'm laughing at the game for doing this, I'm also acknowledging that as a metaphor, it works fine. It works great, but how it's being represented, it made me laugh. While you're playing the game, if you find this stuff pampas grass, which is a real thing, but in the game it's represented as being kind of a almost knee-high grass, and then it has stalks that have fluffy tops, and these are about 2 feet apart. So they're not really a lot of cover when you're looking at this stuff. But as a character, if you go into it and kneel, you're hidden. Even though you're wearing bright red armor and you are visible from like tens of yards away. The metaphor being, you are a successful hider. You are hiding. The visual representation, you're not hiding in the slightest. It's not just you ducking in the grass and, I'm hiding, they can't see me, and then they come over and start sticking spears in you. No, it's just a metaphor for the things that you would really be doing. You're prone, you're crawling through the grass, you're getting muddy and dirty because you're hiding. But it's funny because I was being chased by a big crowd of about 8 Mongol warriors, heavily armored. Lots of big heavy weapons. I couldn't take these things on in my current level of experience, but I'd learned the assassinate technique, of course. And so I ran into the grass and ducked, and it was like, this isn't going to work. They are on my tail. They're like 10 feet behind me. You know, if I stop for half a second, they're going to start smacking me in the back. But I ran into the grass and ducked, and they lost me. Even though I was just 2 feet away from them, hiding behind 3 stalks of this fluffy grass, plainly visible. As a metaphor, I was hiding and doing all these really guerrilla tactics. Graphically, it was silly, because I snuck around, got behind one of them, assassination, and then they'd all see me. And then I would literally run about 6 feet to the side, duck into the grass, and they'd lose me again. They were on my trail, and then they don't know where I am. And I'm just 3 feet away going, they can't see me. And it looked goofy as all get out. I was laughing out loud because it was so silly. Because it wasn't even a huge patch of grass. It was like maybe 10 or 15 feet this direction and that direction, and like 8 feet this wide. And I was losing them inside of that. And it worked. I assassinated all 8 of these heavily armored. They have to be smart, or they wouldn't have been taking over the island. But just by hiding, by ducking down to, not even getting on my knees, just squatting a little bit behind 3 or 4 stalks of grass, and they couldn't find me. So it gets to be silly if you look at it directly. Again, as a metaphor, it works perfectly. But the way it gets represented, not so. I mean, and even you go further back for metaphor. Take a look at those older games for like the Commodore 64 and all, where your character, to represent something like being hiding in grass, would like duck over and just get behind a green block. And maybe you'd see the top of the head to indicate that you're hiding. You know, it's all metaphor, and that's good. But past that, I did not get a whole lot done yesterday. I struggled mightily with my actual executive dysfunction, and I hate that. I was staring at this picture that didn't make sense and couldn't get a lot done. My genetic father has called me. On top of everything that's happening, I was in the bathroom and could not answer the phone. And so he's left a message on my answering machine. He divorced my mother and moved out of both of our lives when I was like 1 year old. I met him a little bit when I was 15, 16. We spent a weekend together, and I met my half-brother, his other son. I have since become friends with my half-brother on Facebook. So there's that. But after decades and decades and decades and decades and decades and decades, and then being contacted once or twice in the past 15 years, but with grief and everything happening with my wife, I can't even remember the conversations that we had. Suddenly, after a good 10 years after all that, yeah, he's called again. So I got the message on my answering machine. I haven't even listened to it with everything going on right now. It's just too much weight. Which I can't wait too long. I mean, he's in his 80s and his health isn't great. So if I want to talk to him again, I'd better do so. But he's not really ever been a part of my life. So, I mean, I'm going to. But right now, it's just too much, so. But walked up to Walmart, walked back, and 6-mile round trip. I've gotten to the point now where I'm really getting it close. I can get it like an hour and a half and not be too debilitated. So that's a good thing. It used to be if I rushed it like that, I would definitely have a whole bunch of physical issues. I still have physical issues. I just don't have the physical anxiety when I get back and then have to go lie down and go to bed because I can't sit, I can't stand. I just have to lie down and sleep until it's over. So, thank goodness for that part being done. But taking a look else on my list, oh yes, this is another thing I was thinking about while I was on walkies last night. I've mentioned this before. I just thought I'd mention it again, both to remind people and for people that haven't ever heard it, all very few of you. But again, those few of you that do watch my videos at all, and those of you that watch this far, thank you so very, very much. It is greatly appreciated. No one is forcing you to watch. The fact that you do so of your own free will, which I'm going to speak about, is awesome, and thank you. Because I have mentioned that with my story framework, it's all in multiverses. And in a multiverse, any possible thing that can happen will in a different universe. Every quirk in your body, which there are quirks that make up your subatomic particles. The subatomic particles make up atoms. Atoms make up molecules. Molecules make up the parts that make us. Each click of the Planck clock, which is the smallest possible measurement of time, each and every quirk in each and every universe, every possible thing, that direction that it can go, there is a universe where it does. And then you work up the macro to every single thing that a subatomic particle can do, there is a universe where it does. Every single thing that an atom can do, there is a universe where it does. Where a molecule can do, it does. Where an organelle can do, it does. Where a cell in your body can do, it does. Where the organ in your body can do, it does. Where you can do, every possible moment, there's a universe where it does. So when you look at it that way, and I actually, along with a lot of very smart mathematicians, believe in some form of multiverse. There are a lot of very prominent mathematicians that can prove mathematically, and they believe it, that there's a multiverse out there, not a multiverse, a universe out there somewhere where they are president of the United States. If you can trace it, it can happen somewhere in the multiverse. Each moment, there is a near infinite number of possible universes being created. This, of course, gets rid of the idea of free will entirely. There is no such thing as free will, because every single moment, every single possible decision that you can make, from the quirks that make up the atoms in your body to the decisions you make in your brain, there is a universe where it happens. There is no free will. You are just a variation X of a person performing variation Y of an action in variation Z of a universe. We are all following scripts that was created the moment that our universe was. Everything, every single moment in our universe is scripted because there's another universe out there where they're following a script where something different happened. There are no options for us to make decisions that go away from the script because other universes, other versions of you are doing that right now. But also philosophically, none of that matters. It doesn't matter that this is all scripted. It doesn't matter that every single decision you make is predestined, is predetermined. Even the idea that you go, well, if it's all predetermined, I just give up, is a predetermined decision. You're just following the script in the universe where you say you're going to give up following the script, but you're still following the script. For this universe, you're just variation X of a person performing variation Y of an action and variation Z of a universe. But the thing about that is, we aren't reading the script. We don't know what's going to be happening in the next chapter. We live on the bleeding edge of now. We aren't reading the script, we're living the script. It doesn't matter that when we throw 2 6-sided dice on a table at a gambling casino, that number that's going to land on the table was predetermined billions of years ago. That doesn't matter. We're living the script. When those dice are in the air, it doesn't matter that it's predetermined. They are still ripe with possibility because we are living the script. We haven't read it. We don't know. So even though we don't have free will, if you believe in a multiverse, and I do, it doesn't matter there's no free will because it feels like we do. We are living the script, not just sitting at a table and rehearsing it. And when you live the script, that is far, far different from sitting back and having an opportunity to just read it and know. So even without free will, we've got that sure huge. Boy, I can speak English. We have that feeling and sensation that makes it real. We are living it, not reading it. So thumbs up on that. And yeah, again, we don't rationally choose by reasoning our way into a good 95% or more of our positions and beliefs. A lot of that is culture, but a lot of that is just the way our brain architecture is. A lot of your beliefs you were not reasoned into, which is why it's so difficult to try and detransition people out of misinformation and bad thoughts that they are reinforced with and believe. Because you cannot reason somebody out of a position that they did not reason themselves into. If they just believe it because they believe it, it's a valid belief, even if it doesn't fit in with the rest of the world in a good way. And you have to try and fight that, because you can't unreason belief. Nobody really chooses their beliefs. Those are things you discover as you go through life. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments on my community tab, and I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours, and it isn't much. Hokey smokes. My arena video has just tanked. The last one I did. Oh boy, I don't make much money as it is, and having videos that nobody watches, oh boy. But that's not anybody's fault but mine and the algorithms and the fact that I'm old and out of touch. But for everybody that has left me comments, I'm going to go through and thank you. And if I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended, and even though I count in American Sign Language, well, especially since I forgot to take my Wellbutrin last night, so I'm having issues with ADHD above and beyond the Call of Duty again. We have the Horror Files. Thumbs up, thank you very much. Greatly appreciated, and good to see you in the comments. Insignificant Nick, thank you very much, and good to see you as well. JAYY, here's hoping I can actually get that sort of stuff done. Thank you very, very much. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have more cryptid stuff. Jesse Koskinen, greatly appreciated. Very good to see you in the comments, and that's a good thing that you're cooling down there. Thumbs up for that. There is CAMZ, who in Portuguese thanks me very much, greatly appreciated. Adrian, thumbs up, thank you, and hopefully I will be doing so. Have you ever checked out my creative channel just to see the stuff that's on there? There's some pretty weird stuff if you haven't checked it out. We have, there is Cocos, thumbs up, thank you very, very much. Ben B, greatly appreciated. Good to see you in the comments as well. Loco5, thumbs up, thank you very much. And we still evolve. You can't stop that. There's random mutation and things just happen. You can't stop natural selection, evolution. But we slowed it down a lot with us when we started adapting our environment to us instead of us adapting to the environment. We slowed that down in the natural way. I mean, we're evolving to the way we live now. So we're still evolving, just in different pressures. And then we have nobody. So that's 9 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. Greatly appreciated, each and every one of you. You get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people, if only for a short time, and if only in text. But it is appreciated to know and thank you very, very much. Well, it being a weekend, I'm not going to try and do much of great consequence. I'm just going to relax. I'm going to play video games, probably more Ghost of Tsushima, but that's my ADHD calling. I still want to finish Grim Dawn. I've gotten really far again in that game, and I want to actually be able to finish it this time. So hopefully I won't just have done the old ADHD thing of abandoning it for Ghost of Tsushima. But hopefully you can get done the things that you want to get done. And if you can't, again, don't beat yourself up about it. That's not going to help you the next time. You're just punishing yourself for no good reason. I mean, there might be a reason. You might enjoy that sort of thing. In which case, and of course, with the covfefe bug and more out there, with diseases killing every single day, please just be smart and take appropriate precautions for your situation and area. You don't need to get sick. You don't need to make other people sick. You don't need to deal with the lifelong complications of being sick. You don't need to toss your your body, or anybody else's body onto the end-of-life corpse pile before it's time. Depending on which multiverse you live in, as we are living a predetermined script. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is a very good thing.